It is the place to be. You have selected another episode of Average Sports with your average guys, Eric and Ty. Glad to have you tuning in. What's up, Eric?
Oh, man. It's that time of year.
Yeah,
Ladies and gentlemen, it's our special fantasy football episode.
Whoa, easy there. This is like Christmas for Eric. He is most excited, but favorite episode of the entire season because we're talking about pretty much all things fantasy. Before we do jump into all of that, we will tell you how we're going to do this episode, a little bit different than last year. Let's first talk about some sports recap. I think in the last episode I talked about a matchup between Atlanta and Galaxy in MLS.
How'd that turn out for
top teams
LA
going at
Galaxy?
each other in different conferences? Did not work out well for LA. So Atlanta is climbing the ranks. They're staying at the top. And we'll see them in the playoffs again.
Way to go.
So they're going to defend their title. And it was actually really fun to watch. It was on Fox on a weekend. It was good programming to see that. And what did you see, Eric?
There were a couple things I saw. So Baker Mayfield putting a punishment on a beer can, and not just doing a normal shotgun, man. This dude went full savage mode and bit through the can with his teeth.
Oh.
And then Dabo Swinney throwing shade at Alabama, saying, I don't get how they're tired. Are you serious? So he's throwing some major shade over to Nick Saban. So we're preparing for Clemson, Alabama, number 1500.
Right.
It seems like.
Yeah, the rematch was probably imminent and already building some of that drama, so that way it's staying relevant and entertaining, I guess.
Yeah.
But you can't blame the remarks there. If you are a championship team, you can't have an excuse like we're tired. That doesn't.
Yeah.
Who's that going to fly with? But
yeah.
Anyway, we digress. Also, in the baseball side of things, Dodgers, Astros, still dominant.
Crushing people.
We don't need to go any further with baseball right now because we will touch base, when we get into September and the division races are on. Well, what else is on? We're not. So, in every episode, Eric, we have something we don't talk about.
Yeah.
The rest of the episode, we're not talking about any other real life sports.
Fantasy football only.
Okay.
Nothing else.
So how is this going to work? You found an app, and we get to do this kind of real time.
Yeah. So we're not sponsored by this app. Although if they want to, that's pretty great.
Okay.
But Sleeper is a fantastic fantasy football platform that you can set up leagues on. You can do mock drafts on. I personally really love it for the mock draft. It is completely customizable, and the best thing is you can just play against the computer, so you can constantly run through these drafts, and you're not having to wait for other people for the ticker to wind down. And so Ty and I are in here. We have picked our spots. I'm going to be drafting from the 104, so that's the 4 spot. Ty's going to be drafting from the 10 spot, so that's 110, and it's a snake draft. 12-team league, PPR is how we're going to be doing it. The setup is 1 quarterback, 2 running back, 3 wide receiver, 1 tight end, 1 flex of a tight end wide receiver, 1 kicker, 1 defense. So that's how we're doing it. And then we're doing 5 bench spots just for some time's sake. But that's where we're doing. So as we go through this, we're going to talk through some of our own strategy. We're drafting from 2 very different spots on purpose, so we can help you guys figure out some of this strategy with fantasy football. Now, Ty, I believe that one of the most important things is doing a mock draft. Do you feel the same?
I sleep on it. No pun intended with this app. I wait usually about a week prior, and then I crank out a couple of mocks, and because there will be so many names to kind of develop. You do a mock too early, guess what? That is not going to be the makeup of your team at all. It's good to at least, familiarize yourself with how the process works, especially if you haven't done too many. But don't count on some of these players even being available. Some will get hurt, some get healthy, some get suspended. So don't lock away certain names because guess what? It's going to change even up to a week out. For sure, even a day out. So just keep that in mind. Yeah,
it's definitely important. And one thing that it just leads me to my number one piece of advice is you need to stay fluid. You need to stay water, as everything is ever changing. Players are going to go down. Things are going to change. And so it's really, really important that even throughout the season or the draft that you understand that you need to be fluid in your decision making. Don't get hung up on a player. So Ty's very right about that. So we're going to go ahead and get started here. I'm going to go ahead and press the start draft
Oh,
button.
here we go.
We are moving along.
Yeah.
So it is now officially my pick. I'm on the clock here. So first pick was Christian McCaffrey, Saquon Barkley, Ezekiel Elliott went third. So now I'm on the clock in the 104 spot. I'm kind of glad I don't have to deal with the Ezekiel Elliott nonsense right now. It's at the 4 spot. That's kind of about where he's been going. I'm kind of glad he went before me. Because he hasn't shown up to camp yet. I was actually pretty sure he'd showed up to camp by now, so I'm kind of glad I don't have to fight that one.
Yeah,
and
just
I think
real
it makes
quick,
my decision a little easier.
And actually, Eric, we won't do this on every round, but since the first pick is, you argue that those first few picks are the most important, and you get hung up easily between the first and second, who should go first and second. Do you agree with even the artificial intelligence here going Saquon Barkley, McCaffrey, and Elliott? Because you still have Kamara on the board.
Yeah, Alvin Kamara's on the board. I definitely agree with that. I'm a little. I mean, I can see Christian McCaffrey being first overall. It is a full PPR league, so that makes sense that he would be. He's up there in that discussion because he's a PPR machine. But so is Saquon, and Ezekiel Elliott developed that last year. Alvin Kamara is more of a efficiency guy. He's not going to be a full workhorse back like these other 3 are. Mm-hmm. So that makes sense. There is going to be some work that is given away. Or taken away from Kamara. And so that definitely makes some sense there. However, that is who I'm going to take at the 104 spot. I'm going to take Alvin Kamara.
Okay. I like the pick.
Yeah, so you're coming on the clock here. So David Johnson, DeAndre Hopkins, Le'Veon Bell, Devontae Adams, Michael Thomas are off the board. Yeah. So now you're here at the 110 spot. What are you doing? Wide receiver, running back.
Yeah, looking at Todd Gurley, Joe Mixon, and Connor on Pittsburgh, still available on the running back side. I do usually myself try to get at least a running back altogether, but when you're also in the basement of the picks, I mean, this is 10 deep, and I'm not going to see a pick again for another 4 turns, so I'm definitely going to lose someone I would want even in the next 4 turns. So it's a pretty valuable pick. Do I want a high-octane wide receiver or running back? I would think I want to lock myself in with at least someone who is going to carry the rock for a few touches. So I got down to 5 seconds. I'm going Connor. He proved himself last year. I think he could do the same.
Yeah, that's not bad. You definitely lost 3 wide receivers there coming back to you. So Julio Jones, Juju, Tyreek Hill all went off the board. And then Todd Gurley, someone, there's a lot of injury risk there. So some people that maybe didn't follow that towards the end of the year, he's injured. So we're not really sure how it's going to play out. But you're back on the board here at the 203 spot. Third pick of the second round. What are you thinking?
I originally came into this episode not trying to do this, but honestly, I'm looking at the wide receivers. Odell Beckham, man, that's a risk. Antonio Brown,
so?
I don't think so. Going to a new team, yes, he's going to have a better arm, and maybe he's going to be able to shine. But I think that guy gets set off way too easily. That he has one bad week, and is that going to then snowball into the future of the league? Maybe, and I could be completely wrong there. Mm-hmm. I have never drafted Beckham, and I've been glad every year when I haven't had him.
Really? He was like number 4 wide receiver last year. He was pretty good.
I still would do okay with other people. I would rather, I think, lean elsewhere. I think he's too much of a wild card myself.
I mean, but there's not
I'd rather go with Mike Evans
on
a wide receiver. Otherwise, I was checking out the running backs. Who do we have there? Still Joe Mixon. That's your favorite, Eric. Delvin Cook, and we got Chubb, Williams, Gordon. So, yeah, I'll stick to my original plan. I came into it with this. Not a whole lot of shake-up with quarterback in Tampa Bay. I'll go Mike Evans. He's kind of year-over-year, perennial. You can count on him.
Yeah, it's a bit of a stretch for where he's being drafted, but he's not a bad player. So, but there's a lot more instability, I think, in Tampa Bay with the quarterback position than there is in Cleveland. So that's just my personal.
Well, we still have Thielen, T.Y. Hilton, and Cooper.
So
Diggs.
unfortunately, a lot of running backs just went right before me there. So Odell Beckham came off the board. Damian Williams, Joe Mixon, Nick Chubb, Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook was someone I was kind of hoping would get back to me because I would definitely have taken him. Now, where am I looking? Do I want another top end wide receiver? Because I think there are some out here. When you take a look at this, I'm certainly not drafting Kelsey. He's still on the board. I fully do not believe in drafting tight ends early, just like I don't believe in drafting quarterbacks early.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to be doing that. You look at someone like Antonio Brown. He just had frostbite on his foot, man. Yeah. Like he's going to be dropping down draft boards.
That's another guy in a new market and very.
I'm more concerned about Antonio Brown in Oakland being a player that explodes versus Odell Beckham. because I think the Browns are good. I don't think the Raiders are good. So I got less than a minute
Fair
here.
enough.
Keenan Allen, Melvin Gordon. Melvin Gordon is a stud, but there's a contract issue. Do I take the risk here of getting him at the 209, or do I think I could possibly wait and try and get him at the 3-4? That's definitely something right there that I'm thinking about. But I'm going to go ahead and go wide receiver here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to reach just a little bit, but I'm going to go ahead and look for someone that's going to be solid. Even though they changed the offense up quite a bit last year, I think I'm still going to be very happy with taking Adam Thielen. So I'm going to take Adam Thielen here at the 209 spot.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay, so we're coming back to me here. Travis Kelce went right after. Keenan Allen, Kerryon Johnson. Oh, Kerryon Johnson, someone that I love. I wish I could target him. I was actually thinking that he may get back to me as well, too. Antonio Brown, Melvin Gordon in the third, which I actually think is a steal. T.Y. Hilton, and then it comes to me. Let's take a look and see what I got here. So some of the players that are looking good for ADP here, you have Pat Mahomes, Aaron Jones, Leonard Fournette, Amari Cooper, Zach Ertz, Marlon Mack, Freeman, Kittle, Diggs. Where am I looking that I want to fill out my roster here? Looking at kind of what's there, who do I think is going to have a fair share of what's going on? Who would I feel is going to be a solid player? Who do I feel is going to be getting a better opportunity? Aaron Jones is, in my opinion, he's a stud. I think he's fantastic, and I think that he's just not getting the opportunity. I'm hoping that with the new offense that will be the case, that they will back down passing for the Packers and uptick the running, especially with that coaching change.
Yeah, he had over 1,000 yards, so I don't think it's a bad risk.
Yeah. The big risk here and the trap is going to be Leonard Fournette. And then Amari Cooper is another trap. You know, those are guys that at the end of the year you may be look at and be like, oh, they're a top 24 running back or wide receiver, but how did they get you there? Did they have a couple of explosive games and then a bunch of stinkers? I'm kind of
a good way to put
them.
it. Mm-hmm.
So I am going to go ahead and take Aaron Jones here. I'm going to round out my running back position here. I'm going to go ahead and take Aaron Jones, at least as my starters, and get them filled up.
Yeah. Which was a stretch of someone I was hoping would actually remain on the board. Unfortunately, not for how deep I'm drafting, again, at that 10 spot. I have done a running back and wide receiver. I got to go back to running back. You got to be able to fill that second position because they're just so far few in between. You're not going to be able to stream them as easily as many.
They're the
other
hardest
positions.
position to stream.
Without a
hardest
doubt.
Position to stream 100%. You need more depth there.
So even just jumping over to who's available still, we got a couple of rookies now showing up. Do you take the risk? I mean, it can be a proven strategy. You wind up with someone who no one else was going to take, and they can be the absolute best in the season. But it's a high risk reward type of venture when you spend a pick that early.
I would agree. There's a couple of players here that do intrigue me. I think that Freeman here is a value pick for you. Josh Jacobs, I think, can be a really good running back. Julian Edelman is obviously a good player if you want to go wide receiver again here. And then you look at, where is he? David Montgomery in Chicago. They spent up to get this guy. He is a 3-down back. He can catch the ball. He can play at the goal line. He's going to have the opportunity. Does he succeed with the opportunity? Who knows? You also have...
Well, they have Howard and...
No, Howard's gone. He's in Philly.
Left. Okay.
But they have... that name's like on the tip of my tongue. And all I'm thinking of is like a video game like Turok. The dinosaur hunter. Tariq Cohen. There it is.
Cohen, yeah.
I knew it was there. He's still there, but he's a pass catching back. He's not. He's a scat back. That's what
he's
he
quick
is.
and
he's gonna
catches punts.
He's gonna get his touches, but up to you. So you're on the clock here. You got 20 seconds.
I'm going here with the rookie Jacobs on that from Oakland. I'm going to take the risk.
Okay, so you took Josh Jacobs. You're now back on the clock. Zach Ertz, Devontae Freeman, George Kittle. So the top tier tight ends are gone. We're not going to see tight ends go for a long time now. Brandon Cooks from Los Angeles. The Rams just went. You're back on the clock at 4:03. Talk us through it.
Boy, what do I do at this position? Here's where I would investigate who all overall is at that top ADP. And you know what? I've given Henry chances in the past. Derrick Henry on Tennessee.
It's a trap.
Yes. Thank you, Eric. Exactly.
Don't believe it from last year, people. Just don't do it.
So here's what I'm thinking, though. We were just talking about the couple of rookies that are still available. Guess what? According to Sleeper, here that if you were drafting it, I'm